Hey everybody, it's Emily, the Crazy Worm Lady. I am here today with the remaining contents of our red Wiggler bins that were the to blend or not to blend, and I'm looking to get our new experiment started. So I sifted one of the bins worth of castings and I put the rest of them in here, and this is going to be run 2 since apparently my patience doesn't serve me very well. So I have the lights on nice and bright in here. I'm going to move another lamp closer, and what I'm going to do is give these guys a little bit of time to dive down, and then we'll start seeing how well we can skim off the top, if in fact it'll even work for us. As I said, it's not my preferred method, but I certainly want to give it a shot, even if it's just for some of this compost, because I like to bring you guys all the methods that I've tried, and this may not be my favorite, but it is a method that some people do find very effective. So I'm going to leave these guys for, I don't know, an hour or 2. I'll go do some cleaning around the house, and then I'll come back and we can see if we can start skimming some compost off the top and keep the process going. So be back with you guys shortly. Okay guys, so this is the concept of the light method. Once you've let it sit for a little while, you just want to skim your castings, the top layer, and dump it into a container or wherever you're keeping your castings. I just hit a worm, so I might be going a little deep already, but I don't see any in here. I do see, maybe there's one down there. But this method is one that I don't feel like you're going to completely avoid getting worms. Sorry, my camera's struggling to focus. There we go. But the whole methodology is that you can get relatively worm-free compost harvested without having to sift. So if your castings are moist, I'm already skimming a little too deep. If they're moist and you want to still harvest and utilize your castings quicker, this is a way to do it and try to minimize worm loss. So on this side, I think I've already dug deep enough. I only gave this about 20 minutes and I thought about it, so I came back, and there's some compost, and I'm just going to do the same thing over here. See that? I've got another worm. I probably didn't give him long enough, but it's still a lot less worms than what I had before when I first put them into this tray. So there's a few worms. Probably should have let it go a little bit longer, but for representation purposes, I'm just going to keep at it this way, and I will take the compost we just skimmed off the top and I'm going to dump it into my big bin over here. So rinse and repeat. I'll be back in another 20 minutes or so, but for you will be the next frame, and we will keep skimming and see how long this takes us. All right, so let's skim some more. This appears to be pretty worm-free. As you can see, this is not a very exciting process, but it does appear to be working relatively well for me. But you can see I'm getting to some worms now. I think there's one there. Yep. So Just going to keep this process going until we're down to no castings or barely any castings and just worms. So skim the rest of this. And I'll come back in another 30-40 minutes and we will skim some more. Okay, so as the progress keeps coming, I've moved about half of this tray all the way up onto this front side. I'm doing that to let these guys dive down, and then I can skim off the top as well as off of the side. A lot of people, when they do the light method, they'll do multiple piles because that way you can go all the way around the outside as well as skim off the top. I'm just doing my method as usual. I don't always follow the norm, but I still think I'm doing a relatively good job of showing you guys how this works. So I might do a few sessions without bringing you guys the update, but I will bring you as I get down to the bottom. Okay guys, so it has been 24 hours. I've been chipping away at this, and this is what I'm left with. I made 3 piles, calling these piles because worms tend to move down the bottom usually. Although I'm seeing from this, probably because of all the rain we're getting, that they're not collecting on the bottom the way I would hope. But that is the goal. But this is pretty much worms all throughout. So might have to wait until the morning when there's some more sunshine and some of this rain stops. But I'm just continuing to get compost, dump it into my container here. This bigger pile, I'll show you. Pretty much, my camera will focus, pretty much all worms as well. So I'm gonna actually, because of this rain, I'm gonna dump all of these guys right back in here. And I think what I'll end up doing is letting this sit the remainder of the weekend. I work over the weekends, so I'll let this sit, let these guys burrow down. I'll get the last of what I can get on Monday, and we will start our new bins. Even if I don't get it completely down to all worms, we're going to get as close as possible so that we can weigh and start out with an even playing field for the experiment. So I hope you guys figured out the concept. You know, let the light or the sun guide your worms down, and then you skim compost off the top as you go. Thought process being that the worms will burrow down as the sunlight or whatever light is on top of them, since they don't like the light. So I hope this was somewhat helpful for you. Thank you for bearing with me through a process that I'm not a huge fan of, but I think we can get this finished up next week and get our new experiments started. So I just wanted to bring this to you. So drop your comments below, like this video, subscribe if you'd like some more content from me, and part 3, our final part, along with the start of our new system, will come to you guys next week.